Well, we have a housing realty check. What kind of impact will the new Biden administration have on mortgage rates? We're talking to mortgage expert Duncan Robertson this morning. Good morning, Duncan.
Good morning, Renee. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays to you, too. A very interesting time in the housing market with COVID. Tell me a little bit about what we kind of foresee for the next year.
Well, most of the experts are predicting that rates should continue to stay low, probably at least halfway into the year before we start seeing them possibly tick up. It's really going to depend a lot on what's going on with the stimulus package, jobs, people getting back to work, that sort of thing. If that looks good, then what happens in the stock market, tends to react favorably to that, which a lot of times is not necessarily good for mortgage-backed securities, which is what dictates what rates are. But the outlook is pretty good, at least in the short term. It's going to depend also. Right now, there's a lot more demand than supply. And if inflation goes up, then rates usually go up along with it. So that's really going to be one of the leading indicators to take a look at.
It's such an interesting time, too, because although we have, very low inventory right now, we are pushing up against the end of a very important forbearance period for a lot of homeowners. What's the possibility that we all of a sudden see an influx of inventory that really changes that dynamic?
That is going to be a very, very important thing to watch as well. That's really quite interesting. What's going to go on? Are they going to, as part of the stimulus package, are they going to extend forbearance? One of the reasons the end of that isn't as scary as people think it might be is that you would imagine that, okay, if people are out of work and they can't pay, their mortgage anymore, are they going to go into foreclosure? We're going to have a bunch of foreclosures hit the market. Well, you just said that, our inventory is so low, there's no way those people would need to go into foreclosure. They could sell their homes like that. So, worst case scenario, they might have to sell and then, rent until they recover. That sort of thing, maybe live on the equity, from their home. And so here's all the really good news, too. In Arizona, we're in the hottest market in the country. They say up 9% year over year from this point last year, which is just insane. So the good news is people have a lot of equity in their homes they can fall back on with cash out refinances, or if they did have to sell, that sort of thing. So that's why, if you're one of these people, I hear people are like, oh, there's going to be an adjustment. I'm going to wait and get into the market after it crashes again and stuff. That's just really, really highly, highly unlikely. So do not listen to the people out there in the media that are, the doomsday sayers and just trying to grab headlines.
Well, certainly not the same factors that we saw back in the 2007, 2008 era, but we certainly are seeing maybe the possibility for a better market for buyers.
Yeah, it is possible, but in Arizona, like I said, it's such a strong seller's market. This is the time to sell if you're thinking about selling. It's also the time to refinance if you're thinking about refinancing. If you think rates are going to get any lower than this, nobody thought they'd still be this historically low for this long. So I wouldn't play that bet. I think now is the time to pull the trigger on both of those things.
A couple of more things, Duncan, in terms of like the new administration that's coming in, and when we're looking at those forbearance periods, do we have any anticipation of maybe some more relief coming for homeowners as well?
Well, and that is what has been driving the stock market up lately, is the talk of, that they may be coming to an agreement on, on a new stimulus package and that sort of thing. So, fingers crossed.
All right. Yeah. Fingers crossed for a lot of people. Duncan, thank you so much. Appreciate your time this morning.
Thank you so much. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays to you too. Troy?